All right. What is up, everyone? Hope your day is going well so far. Still getting used to streaming to YouTube. Back when I used to stream a bunch, it was on Twitch. Very easy. Didn't have to schedule stuff out. Just sent it and went. But YouTube's a little different. Let me know how your weekend is going while everybody files in. I was working most of the day. It was insanely busy. People are enjoying the nice little bit of weather, nice weather that we had. What's up, Mike Finch? Welcome to the stream. What's up, Next Level? What's up, Seth Kelly? What's up, Carl? Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Be a little bit better if the prices were green right now, but you know what? We're going to talk about that. A few things going on. A few things to watch going into next week too, because I see a lot of comments that are very, very negative. What people seem to be forgetting is we were here like a couple days ago. So we're going to talk about that and a few other things. So hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. Let me know how your weekend is going. I'm just relaxing, watching the kids right now. No, I figured it was pretty important that we do have a discussion about what's going on in the crypto market. What's up, Jack? Hope your day is going well. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and take a drink, dive right into it. So prices today, guys, they kind of suck. The crypto market is seeing a lot of red today. And really what's going on is, if you guys haven't noticed, is every time we get one of these days of negative sentiment, some kind of, I don't even want to say black swan event because it's not really a black swan event, but one of these pieces of information that's negative for the market, we typically have back-to-back days of bleed. It's not an uncommon thing, happens time and time again. And unfortunately, this happened right at the end of a week where we went into a weekend where we don't have the help from institutional money, where we don't have high volume in general. So this is one of those days of low volume where what you're really seeing in the crypto market is just people that are scared, retail that's freaking out, and they're selling their bags. Happens. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about this, as well as a couple comments that I saw on some videos that we should address. All right. So let's just take a look at a few charts here and see what's going on. So right now, some of the coins I talk about here on the channel, ADA, currently sitting at about 90 cents. Can't remember if I talked about this yesterday or today, but we talked about potentially coming down to this range. So this isn't really a surprise at all. Again, low volume weekends, they don't carry a lot of momentum. And this is where the bears typically take over just a little bit. What we've also seen at the same time is we are in fact seeing a lot of open interest. It's actually on the rise right now. What we're seeing is a lot of people opening up these short positions. And this could actually be very beneficial to us. And I'll get to this in just a moment. For example, ADA, we saw this climb to $1.3 billion, but what we've seen now is some longs wrecked over the last 24 hours, $2.8 million over 24 hours. Last 4 hours, $1.5 million wrecked on ADA alone. That is it. Right now, longs are getting hammered pretty hard. Mine are still open. I'm just patiently waiting. My liquidation zones are pretty low, so I'm just being patient, watching this play out. But again, it all stems back to one thing. It stems back to tariffs. Tariffs went live today, and what this means was Canada and Mexico, 25%, China, 10%. I did talk about this a little bit earlier today, and the impact that this is going to have, it's not as much as people think. For example, the assessment that we went ahead and took a look at was only about $1,000 per year per home, right? It's $100 a month. It's really not that much, but obviously we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, see how long this lasts. Wow, I said that weird. And what kind of overall impact this has on the U.S. economy. And right now, what you're seeing is people doing some risk mitigation. They're doing some selling. This is why we're seeing the markets drop a little bit. But understand this. This is where the people usually step in and take advantage of a little bit of this fear in the crypto market. And a really good sign of that is look at what USDT dominance is doing. If we saw people leaving crypto in general right now, USDT dominance would be staying pretty flat, but instead people are just kind of flocking to stables. Okay. So they're basically just parking their capital. They're waiting for the opportunity. They're seeing if we're going to get a deeper dip here, which I don't know if we do. We're sitting right on top of support in terms of ADA, right on top of support in many assets. If ADA, for example, does continue to fall, it's possible we could get down to this 86-cent range, which is right where our 100-day moving average is, which ADA does not like to go below. So if we do get a drop below here, that's a range we could target, possibly have a good bounce off of there. So just keep that in mind. So for example, right now, you guys can see that once again, we have shifted to a heavy dominance in short interest. All right. It's 15% swayed to the short side on ADA in general, but this can be tracked across pretty much all assets in crypto. The bears are trying to take back control. And the nice news is that institutional money and whales in the space, they're not going to let them. Whale buying at pretty high highs. Supply on exchanges at severe lows across the crypto market, specifically ADA, SHIB, BTC, record lows. I mean, all these things are going to create this inflection point in the market. We're witnessing a lot of game playing right now. So this isn't really surprising what we're seeing. Would have loved to see BTC hold our 20-day moving average here. But again, right, we got to watch this about 98.9 level or so. All right. So NASDAQ about to nosedive. Don't talk too much about the NASDAQ on here, but we'll pull that up. Nah, not quite yet. It's showing a lot of strength, to be honest with you. It's been showing strength for months here. It looks a little toppy, obviously, back here in December. That's right about the time that the crypto market dropped too. But really what we need to watch in terms of this is we're trying to get to this period of quantitative easing, right? No announcement from the Fed in that regard. And what we're really watching here is actually the DXY. We're watching 10-year bond yields. So the great thing about this is we actually are forming. This is kind of a really strange formation here, right? Because we had the DXY form an inverse head and shoulders, which push us down. And we have an even bigger inverse head and shoulders that may push us down. And if we get a bounce here, we may have an even bigger head and shoulders that push us down even further. This is the wildest formation I have ever seen on the DXY, but what it could lead is us pushing all the way back down to the 100 level. All right. So understand that this is a good thing for crypto. Obviously, these last few days of increase here, the US dollar gaining strength, that's not necessarily what you like to see, but again, it's probably just a dead cat bounce. When we look at 10-year bond yields, still on the drop. Obviously, when we look at Friday's candle, that was green, but for the most part, it's red, meaning that people are in fact going to be flowing back to speculative assets. They're going to be taking their capital that's parked in bonds, and they're going to be moving them to the stock market, to crypto. We see this time and time again, right? And this is all going to work in conjunction with quantitative easing. So I don't really see anything different than what we've experienced before. All right. So I know that actually there was a comment. All right. So this was actually from Dakota Logan. Good comment. What he said was, what if retail isn't interested in crypto? 99% of people I talk to have no interest in crypto. What if our pump from 2020 was due to COVID lockdown and people being at home? We also had quantitative easing. The Fed was printing money and we had stimulus checks. We also didn't have the number of tokens that we have today. And so this is actually a very good question. And actually, this is the exact question that made me want to do a stream. So there's this huge misconception that some people have that the reason that crypto ran in 2021 actually had to do with these stimulus checks. And that wasn't the case at all. We're following a normal market cycle. Maybe it's the reason why we got a little bit overblown in the early part of the market cycle, and BTC obviously ran all the way up to 62K. And then we had a sharp correction, obviously, with the news back then of China banning Bitcoin and banning crypto in general. But for the most part, we didn't really get to see a lot of those inflows until the last stimulus checks were taking place. It's possible some of that money flowed there, but for the most part, there's no real way of tracking that was the case. We're still at this point where only about 15% of the US is in crypto in general, and most people in the US have never had crypto. Okay, so yes, I will agree. Most people right now, if you talk to them about crypto, they do not care. Right? It is not at the forefront of the focus here in the US. Most people care about the economy and paying for their stuff at home, and I completely understand that. Right? But that is also why we are part of the early adopters. We're part of the innovators. Ugh, gross. We are part of the innovators. We are the ones that are here before everybody else. We set the trends. We are even here before institutional money, before governments, before enterprise. And why this is different, okay? You say that, what if retail isn't interested? They won't have a choice eventually, okay? Why I'm saying that is, if you've looked throughout history at different adoptions of pieces of technology, whether it's the internet, whether it's the cell phone, whatever it may be, it's basically thrust upon the masses. And what does that is enterprise and government, all right? So now we're starting to see enterprise and government step in and start to push that ball even faster down the hill towards mass adoption. And what you're going to eventually going to be seeing is infrastructure that is run on blockchain. You're going to see essentially crypto as the backbone of tech, not just here in the US, but throughout the world. Obviously, there's been pushes from some governments throughout the world towards the CBDC. Obviously, here in the US, that has now been squashed. The executive order signed. Nope, no CBDC coming here in the US. But obviously, they're taking this blockchain embrace seriously. And in fact, excuse me. And in fact, they're looking at public blockchains here in the US. That's a big deal. That's where, something like XRP, RippleNet, Cardano, Hedera, Stellar, who else am I thinking of? Algorand. Blockchains like that have a real opportunity for the future. Because like I talked about in my earlier ADA video today, the landscape of crypto here in the US, the landscape of blockchain tech and adoption is going to look drastically different as we get into the next market cycle. Now, what I did want to show as well is, guys, we're people freaking out saying, oh yeah, the bull market's over, alt season's done, we're falling into the bear. Guys, we're within structure. We're within structure on everything. Look at this is the total two. This is assets outside of BTC. We're still in our big bull pennant, right? This has not broken out yet. This is going to be the biggest indicator of up only season. When we get an aggressive push out of this trend, that's when you know it's go time. This is opportunity time. Understand that, guys. This is a real blessing where we're at currently. If you've looked for opportunities to accumulate and get stuff cheap, we have it right now. All right. Me personally, I've added a couple different assets that I haven't had before. I added some Ondo. I added some PAL. I think it's pronounced PAL. Hopefully that's right. I'm really looking at a lot of these lower caps right now too that have huge opportunity for adoption and upside. What is going to be a hot narrative right now? Obviously, we know AI, US-based crypto, stuff like that is going to really be a key focus moving forward. But we have not even broken out here yet in a big way. And we still have all this capital sitting on the sidelines, like I talked about with USDT dominance. This drop-off has not happened. This breakout on the total 2 has not happened yet. On the total 3, assets outside of Ethereum has not really separated from its trend yet. I mean, all this is, it's really showing that we're ready to burst in a big way. And this is why in my videos, excuse me, I have congestion apparently. This is why in my videos, I keep talking about these breakouts and these big explosive moves that are coming. And so many people, they want them to happen right then and there. And guys, I get it. I would love for stuff to 10x right now and to retire and to make more content and be able to spend more time golfing and taking care of my kids and all that stuff, right? But I know that these cycles have a process and we're waiting for that confirmation. We're waiting for that excitement. Frankly, when USDT dominance starts to absolutely crater out of this trend and approaches down in this like 3.5% range, which I believe would be the lowest level we've seen since December of 2021, that's going to be a really, really big deal for the crypto market. And at that same time, we're going to see heightened retail optics. We're going to see retail spending more easily because really what people need to remember is that the highest levels of adoption take place when the market is pumping. Guys, right now, like ADA price, people don't, excuse my language, people don't give a shit, okay? When SHIB price right now, for example, is dropping this trend, people don't care, all right? When BTC is flat, it was running hot, right? When they're seeing this, people don't care, all right? This is when people buy. This is when retail flocks in, okay? That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the burst. We're waiting for the capital that's here to basically trigger this run for that confirmation. And then it all follows. Then everything starts just following in suit. BTC dominance starts dropping off in a major way, like we've seen time and time again. And maybe the thing that pushes us is either a US embrace, more short leverage liquidations. There's tons of things that could, in fact, be kind of the catalyst to get things going. Okay. And I'm going to get to some of these questions here in just a moment because I see the chat just kind of flying by. But I really wanted to get this out. Me personally, this is opportunity time. This is Christmas again. I am just packing my stocking. This is a terrible analogy. I'm packing my stocking full of all these different assets so that when retail does flock back and we once again see assets start doing, 5, 10, 20 X's, you're not sitting there being like, oh, apparently the crypto market wasn't over. Apparently alt season wasn't done. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here to Gilbert Rodriguez. Need a good February. I'm exhausted. You know what? I get it. I'm sure most of the crypto market is feeling the exact same way that you are. We are all ready for this exciting run that should be ahead. And really, when we look back at some of these Februarys in the past, let me see if I can find one here. So February of 2024, 38.86% gain across the crypto market. I think February of 2023 up 1%. If we look at February of 2021 up 39.72%. February in 2020 was a drop. So we actually kind of defied the odds last year, which was good. And let's see, February of 18 was a drop. We were entering the bear market cycle, but for the most part, February's across the crypto market, cycle after cycle after cycle, they tend to be really good. So what does that mean for us now? We have to wait. We have to be patient. The same things that we've been saying time and time again is what we're waiting for right now. But understand that this push for adoption is going to get bigger. Enterprises are going to start pressing harder. They're testing out tech right now. You're going to see the embrace probably take place in a big way this cycle. Next cycle, it's going to be even bigger. We're going to see governments embrace even more. Obviously, I think it's El Salvador. El Salvador has been adding 1 BTC per day. Is it per day for multiple years now? We're seeing governments around the world talk about adding crypto reserves outside of the European Union for whatever reason, which is, I think, the dumbest thing ever. But you're going to see this embrace hit in a much bigger way as time goes on. It's, as I want to quote Thanos, right? But Thanos said it's inevitable. And in adoption is an inevitability at this point. It's become too big and it's going to grow a lot more rapidly by the time that we're done. All right. Let's see. Any projects you are buying before takeoff time? Yeah, I'm actually looking a lot at low cap AI tokens. I think that AI is going to be a huge play in this cycle. So I do have some of these top AI tokens now. AIs, I think it's called AIs Virtual. Some other ones. Let's see. I got Paul. I picked that up today. I have Tai. Obviously on the Solana blockchain, that could be a very big one with the embrace from the Solana Foundation, XOX or OXO. Yeah, one of those days. Follow I hear is pretty good too. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, I just ate. My mother-in-law just made some linguine from scratch. Awesome. And my wife makes this ciabatta bread. All right, I gotta show you guys this. All it is ciabatta bread cut in half. And you put, you melt butter and you put garlic in it, and you spread the garlic and the butter on top of the ciabatta bread, put a piece of mozzarella cheese over the top, put it in the oven until the mozzarella melts, and then you pour some balsamic glaze, or you can reduce balsamic vinegar and create this balsamic glaze, and you pour it over the top. And this is what this looks like. And it is, oh my gosh, it's so easy to make. It's so delicious and probably really bad for you. But yeah, just finished eating. So yeah, that's really what I'm looking at a lot. There's a lot more of those AI tokens I want to pick up. I did pick up, what is it? I picked up Ondo the other day. Obviously I have my Jasmine long open. That's doing well. Yeah, pretty much all the stuff on my list here I'm watching pretty closely. There's some other stuff I need to add as well. There's going to be more narratives that come out too that we need to pay attention to as the market really begins to take off. But But AI agents obviously are a big discussion right now. I haven't really dove too much into AI agents yet, but there's a lot of buzz there. Still kind of low in terms of volume, only about $1 billion in daily trading volume. So we'll see what happens there. What are the odds that every analyst is wrong? That's a great question, Philip. So what we have to look at is not just TA, okay? And that's why I do things the way that I do here on my channel. I look at money flow. I look at search metrics. I look at tons of different fundamental information. And what we're seeing is actually a lot of capital flowing to exchanges in preparation for what? For buying, right? They wouldn't flow there just for the good of their health. We're seeing a lot of more short interest than we've ever seen in the crypto market. All right, more open interest in general, right? Longs and shorts across the market. But you guys can see, for example, something like ADA interest basically hitting all-time highs in what isn't even the boom of this early part of alt season yet, okay? And this can be traced for BTC, this can be traced for XRP, this can be traced for anything, okay? So we're basically fighting against this big resistance right now. But what's happening at the same time is we're seeing this continued removal of supply from exchanges. For example, take a look at something like ADA. I talk about this a lot. Look at what this trend is. Removal of supply, removal of supply, removal of supply. There is so limited liquidity to the upside available on exchanges right now. It is baffling to me that the market has not taken off yet. And what that really tells me is that when it does happen, it's going to be violent for BTC, for ADA, for SHIB, for XRP, for all these different assets in the space that are going through the same thing right now. People believe long-term congestion. People believe long-term in the crypto market, and they're willing to hold their bags. That's the thing. The only people that right now are getting shook out, I should have pulled this up. I had this up earlier and didn't get to talk about it. What we've seen in the crypto market is a lot of the long-term holders that were kind of dumping over the past probably 45 days, they've kind of cooled down. And now what we're seeing is a lot more of these short-term holders dumping. All right. So this is actually a really good, I tracked this on Shiba Inu actually earlier today. This is what I meant to show it on, but this can be tracked again across other assets as well. And so what I was looking at was actually the average hold time of transacted coins. So let's just see if I can find this again. So much stuff, guys. You would not believe the amount of analytics I go through every single day. It's people. Some people think, you just get on and you just make videos. No, there's a lot more that goes into that. Obviously, I'm not the kind of guy that just sits and reads articles. The channel started that way and it's definitely evolved into something quite different. So let's just take a look at the last month, for example, in terms of Shiba Inu. So this is the average time of transacted coins for Shiba Inu. Okay. What we saw a lot of back here in January was like 1 month, 2 month. We saw some spikes of 1 year holders, 5 month holders, 1 year holders. And you guys can see that this became very consistent around 3-4 months or so. And then we eventually started to see this cool down. We did have a spike on the 30th of 5 months, but for the most part, it's just short-term people that got in maybe a month ago and were hoping for a quick flip or thought they were buying the dip and are now freaking out because prices have still dropped. And, they think that things are just going to continue dropping. Now, obviously price again on something like SHIB or ADA or other assets in the space, they don't look great, right? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and say that they look awesome. And, this is the moment that things are going to pop. It's possible. We've seen these violent drops before and then violent recoveries, right? Even in terms of ADA, look at this wick down and the subsequent recovery, 15% over the course of a couple days, right? And really what we just need, or this was SHIB, we're seeing this time and time again, and people continue to be fooled. People continue to question their conviction. And, again, like I said in an earlier video, I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to tell, I can't tell you what to do. It's your money. You do what you want. Me personally, I've been around the block. I've seen this happen time and time again. I'm not fooled. Every time we're going through one of these dips, I'm either opening up more long positions, adding more to my portfolio, because I know that these gift opportunities that people forget to recognize they are in fact gifts, they're going to miss out on. They're going to be wishing that they did in fact accumulate. So that's all I have to say. The fundamentals behind the scenes, they're painting a different picture than what we're seeing in the charts. And, it's funny because some people say that fundamentals are misleading. They're not. Fundamentals precede moves in the market. They precede moves in the charts, and the fundamentals, they're going to lead to these pumps. We just have to be patient. We have to let people do what they do in the middle, in the meantime, and they're going to wash themselves out. And then they're going to kick themselves because the market takes off and leaves them behind. You have those people that say, "Oh yeah, I held Bitcoin at $5, but then I dumped when it dropped to 2." Well, I don't know what to tell you, right? We're all mature adults here. We can all make our own decisions, but make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I was getting a little off track there, a little ranty. Okay. Mr. Hayholmes. Mr. Hayholmes. I only bring up NASDAQ because Trump wants to tariff chips and hasn't set a percentage yet. February 18th. I did hear February 18th on that as well. It said Ronald Reagan put 100% on electronics in 1987, which led to Black Monday. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And that's the biggest thing, right? So now just look at the last few days here. Okay. For example, ADA was up around like 99 cents or so, pushing close to $1. It's dropped 10% in that time. Right now, I think there is so much of this fear and negativity baked into the market. It's unnatural. Same thing that we experienced back here on the 27th. I can't even remember what it was, but we saw a drop in the crypto market, and it was just a huge overreaction. That's what we're seeing right now. People are overreacting for something they don't even know the ramifications of yet. That's what just baffles me. And you know what? If people are going to give me a huge discount in the market, appreciate it. Thank you. I love picking up a lot of these cheap positions right now. Let's see. FWIW. I don't even remember what that means. I agree with you on the tech adoption curve. However, crypto, there's a stigma and a narrative that will need to be overcome, need to be overcome in a fully connected world, CPU and internet adoption. You know what? I agree. But remember what people thought about cell phones at the time. Remember what people thought about the internet at the time. The big famous video. You remember the news anchors talking about the internet? Like, oh, the internet? Oh, that's stupid. Blah, blah. And then they look back 20 years later and it's like, oh yeah, I was an idiot, right? That's where we're at right now. We're at the time where you have the news anchors sitting laughing, joking about about crypto, right? But in the same breath, we have governments wanting to adopt crypto. We have governments wanting to adopt these public blockchains that these assets are native tokens of, right? So who cares what the retail right now thinks? Because, and not to be offensive or anything, most people in the world are not smart. All right. Most people, they get in when it's way too late. We're here early. All right. That's one of the biggest benefits that we have. Everybody right now that's watching, that has assets, that's taking the time to prepare and build their bags during this time, probably going to be retired within the next 5 to 10 years. As long as people don't mess up and get into the wrong projects and have conviction and don't get, washed out during this manipulation and stuff that we're seeing in the market that doesn't make a lot of sense, you're going to do quite well. Okay. The people that are here late, those are the ones that are going to get stuck in a time where crypto's not pumping like crypto, right? When we start to get into that 50, 60, 70, 80% of the world in crypto, things are going to move slower. You're going to see it be more tech driven, like I talked about earlier in my ADA video today. And what that means is that you actually have to have a good, sound, tested product with a proof of concept for people to get into it to actually see some gains. It's going to move a lot slower. So just be happy you're here right now. Bassman Jeff, I'm predicting a red Q1. I'd be okay with the 2, more time to accumulate, but I guess that's just fun. Yeah, I mean, again, I'd be okay with more time to accumulate. Actually, I'd love more time to accumulate. I'm not going to lie. With paying taxes at the end of the year and the holidays and stuff like that, I was incredibly strapped for fresh capital to put into the crypto market. Luckily, it started to open up now that we've gotten into February and I've gotten past property taxes and stuff like that. So now that I have fresh powder, I'm buying up a lot of these projects. And luckily, prices haven't left us behind yet. That's been a huge benefit. Wall Street Pepe, let's go. There you go. February, always green. Yeah, February, historically speaking, very, very green. Very green. What's my opinion on XCN and Ether? Okay, so here we go. Some of these questions. XCN has been going on like an absolute tear, hasn't it? I kept getting notifications actually from BTCC that it was just running. Yeah, look at this. Last month, this is up 1,100%. I think we had actually talked about this. I didn't get any. I'm not in this project, right? But it's, oh man, it's booming. She booming. And then Aether. Let's check this out. AEITHR. Oh, I spelled it wrong. ATH. There we go. I think that's AI too, isn't that? That could use a little love right now. I mean, this is just down along with the rest of the crypto market. I can't say I know too much about the project. Oh, DPIN. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, DPIN I think is going to come back around. DPIN was a really hot narrative in the early part of 2024. And I think that that's going to have a resurgence right now. Obviously, the hot thing is AI and AI agents and US-based crypto. That's the number one thing right now that anybody cares about. Meme coins haven't had a meme cycle since the early part of 2024. DPIN hasn't really taken off since that time. So I wouldn't be surprised if that stuff kind of comes back around. We just have to wait for these sub cycles to start again. We've just been kind of stuck in this consolidation of blah, right? This time, no green. Look at the market going to crash. I don't know why people are freaking out. Like, do people not realize that the market moves 20, 30, 40, 50% all the time? I mean, this is not an uncommon thing, right? Is this a crash right here? Or is this a pullback before the market runs once again? I mean, even BTC does these things, right? If we look back here, this drop for BTC was 33%. And then look what happened following that. It ended up running from basically 49K up to 109K. All right. 123%. This crash crap is just a bunch of nonsense. What's up, dang blizzard outside today? Good old Duluth, Minnesota. Yeah, you guys are getting hammered pretty bad up there. We've had like no snow where I'm at. We had like maybe 2 days with some accumulation, but it really hasn't been much this year. Cold though, cold. I actually had a pipe freeze in the barn, which wasn't fun. Do I think alt season will happen before summer? I do believe alt season will happen before summer. And actually, I meant to get to this in these charts. Okay. So when we're looking at the total 2 and the total 3, they're pointing out a very specific timeline. We've talked about certain dates because these certain dates have been important historically. Januaries have been good. We actually finished in a green January for a lot of assets in the crypto market. Obviously, we dealt with a lot of retracement during that time too. So people think that things have sucked. They just haven't exploded quite yet. February 1st, last market cycle, was really when things began to take off and separate. Maybe because February 1st is on a weekend, it could be that on Monday, things start to blow up in a big way. But really, when we look at these trends here, look at when this formation comes to an end. Look when the total 2 bull pennant comes to an end. It's in the middle of February, all right? So sometimes these time frames are just a slightly different here. Take a look at the total 3. So this is assets outside of BTC and Ethereum, pointing towards about February 11th, February 12th, okay? So right around basically that's end of the second week of February is really when the market looks like it may open up in a big way. Actually, when we look at, I think there's something else here too. All right, look at USDT dominance, right? When does this really show that this is going to open up in a big way as well? This shows March 1st. So if I had to say a specific time frame where the market is really going to start opening up and start running, I would say it's basically between now and March 1. I think February has the potential to be a big month. There's a lot of capital parked here. The sentiment is just about right. We're obviously dealing with a couple of these days, a couple of these periods of some negative crap that's floating around, people having fear in the market or market makers trying to push the market one way or the other based on nothing. And then we've rallied just fine out of them time and time again. Now, it's unfortunate because we haven't been able to carry the momentum we need for a big market-wide breakout, right? I think one of the biggest things we've been waiting on is Ethereum to start making its move. It started yesterday, and then, of course, we got the tariff news, which kind of dropped the crypto market in general. We fell back within trend, but I think that this is going to be something big to watch. When ETH starts making this breakout and this move, that's going to be a big sign for the crypto market, because when ETH, one of the old dogs, finally starts moving, that is a very big sign that we are ready to go. All right, so let's see. Bullish on Ondo. Yeah, I really like Ondo. I wish I picked it up earlier. Again, not having enough capital to go around. that really kind of hurt me, basically from, October, November on. So what do I think about the classic Filecoin? Yeah, I mean, Filecoin still got huge opportunity as well. Be cool. Yeah, a lot of these old dogs haven't really gone on massive runs yet. I keep saying old dogs, but they're not old dogs per se. But prior cycle coins haven't really gone on a massive run yet. And one thing I didn't really talk about, people reference this, too many assets in the space and dilution and all this stuff. And that's been used cycle after cycle after cycle. And the big thing that people forget is the quantity of people and capital that are going to be coming to the crypto market in this market cycle. Remember, we're at about 5-6% of the world in crypto right now. We're supposed to be getting to over 10% by the end of this market cycle, which means 400 million new crypto users coming into the space. And I did the math actually on that total, where was it? I think I did that on the total one. I think it was total one. Yeah. So actually I laid this out, I think last stream that I did. So this is what we saw back in 2021. We saw $29,125 in liquidity per, and I don't remember what exactly that was, but basically this was $4,368 per person coming into the crypto market. What we need now to get to the projections that we're expected to see, which is between 10 to 12 trillion dollars in the global market cap of crypto. Obviously right now we're at 3.34 trillion. That is only $2,600 per person. So it actually takes just over half of the amount of capital it took last market cycle to make the expected move that we're supposed to be seeing this market cycle. All right. And what you need to remember here too is some people might say, oh yeah, most people don't have that. Well, you have the people that have small bags, couple bucks here and there, $100 here and there. And then you have the whales that have hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. And then you have institutional money as well, right? So you see it on both sides, and it's going to be hitting the crypto market in a big way. And this is also why I keep saying that the market, the later we get in the market cycle, the more unrecognizable it's going to get. And basically by the end of next market cycle, going to be completely unrecognizable because we're going to be having very different focus at that time. Because guess what? Institutional money, for the most part, does not care about meme coins. They don't care about these new launches that are happening on Solana and stuff like that, right? What they focus on is tech. What is going to be around? What is making a difference? Who is making pushes forward towards adoption? That's the stuff that they care about. We just haven't seen a market-wide shift to that. The more big money, the more what's the word? The more, we'll say, old investors, right? The more of your typical investors get in, the more we will see that shift towards the old tech-driven stuff. God, I'm having a hard time getting that out, guys, but you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm sure you do. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, wow. Let me scroll back. Yeah, I'm missing a lot of stuff. I apologize, guys. Sorry. All right, let's see. I'm ready for the next leg up. I'll be financially free. Let's go. Yep, love it. SHIB's stuck in range. It's actually a good time to buy now and ride up to 2,400, then sell. Yeah, you know what? I'm never going to dog anybody for taking profit. If you're planning on just doing, quick flips, just taking advantage of some of this range bound stuff in the market, awesome. I hope everybody here makes a crap ton of money, and there's a huge opportunity here, obviously, for SHIB and other assets in the space. I love where SHIB is at right now. Again, this is the range that SHIB is in, right? Right here is your resistance. If I could draw a straight line. Oh, wow, I can't do it. Right there. And then right here, right? That's kind of the zone. So could we see SHIB potentially come down to like 4016? Yes. Understand that there's a lot of resistance or support right up at the top of this gift zone as well, which we almost saw Shiba Inu come down to on, what was that? The 27th. Got pretty darn close, but this basically anywhere in here, this is a huge range that me personally, I'm accumulating Shiba Inu in. I'm opening up longs, building more of my position. Yeah. That's all I gotta say on that. David CLK, hi from Scotland. So true long-term pays, 4 years holding XRP and already up big and holding 4 more years. Yeah. Oh yeah. XRP is something that we haven't talked to here. XRP having a brutal day. It kind of sucks to see it fall back below $3. It was actually holding on, but I don't know if anybody missed this. There was actually huge news that came out I think 2 days ago, Grayscale is going to be they filed to convert their XRP fund to an ETF. Okay. This is the same thing that they did back with Bitcoin. Didn't get approved the first time they did it, but eventually it got approved. Now, what does that mean for XRP? That's a big deal, right? If you have one get approved, more tend to follow. Actually, the first time you get a filing, you tend to have more follow anyways. I haven't heard of any yet because it was obviously going right into the weekend, but I would not be surprised by potentially some XRP spot ETF filings this week. Now, that I'm not saying that, it's going to get an immediate approval or anything like that, because we're still waiting on the conclusion of this Ripple v SEC case. There hasn't been a withdrawal on the appeal or anything like that, but that is what is necessary for this to actually be done, because right now the status of XRP is in question by the SEC, and that's whether it's an unregistered security or not. And because the SEC is the one that actually approves these spot ETFs, the underlying asset itself cannot be an unregistered security. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, that being said, I'm expecting this to be concluded a lot sooner than later. Remember, pro-crypto SEC chairman has now come in. We're going through an SEC overhaul currently. I know that I think it was, Fit 21 still has yet to make its way further through Congress, which is going to obviously bring in more CFTC oversight. These things are going to be really good for the crypto industry moving forward. And that may, in fact, fast track a lot of these ETF filings that we've seen for ADA, for XRP, and many other assets over the last week and a half or so. All right, 75 to 76,000 Bitcoin incoming. I don't think so. I don't think we get anywhere close to that, right? Even looking back here. So our wick down that we experienced back on, what was that, January 13th? Yeah, January 13th only got to 89K. That was massive massive long liquidations in the crypto market, a lot of fear setting in, crashes everywhere, and we didn't even get close to that. Institutional money has accumulated too much. MicroStrategy continues to buy. Right now, what you're talking about is a 25% discount in terms of BTC from the current price, which is already a 10% discount from, or not 10%, 8% discount from the current all-time high. All right. I don't see it happening unless there is a major economic black swan event that crosses borders. You need something like that to take place in order for BTC to see that. And another reason that this is in fact supported is I want to go back to our bull market support band. This 20-week moving average is bull market support. And outside of black swan events, BTC never crosses below and closes a weekly candle below this support. Outside of bear markets, all right, outside of bear markets and black swan events, that is the only time. Now, look back to last summer. We did have some black swan events, right? We had German government dumping, we had minor capitulation, we had war abroad, we had all these different things that actually made BTC do this several times. A lot of that stuff has been pretty well cleaned up by now. So the question is, what can we see that gets us down to that level? There's not really a whole lot, right? We have some transparency when it comes to the tariffs. We know that we don't know exactly what it's going to apply to yet. There are some assessments that it's really not going to be that big of a deal in general. Well, obviously you have to, black swan events are unpredictable. Nobody knows for sure. You can throw 75, 76K out there and just, for whatever reason, if it hits, awesome, right? For you or anybody accumulating. But right now, the likelihood of that happening is not very high. Okay. This isn't a guarantee or anything like that. It's, we have history, we have fundamentals. All these things are showing that it's not in the cards, at least not right now. Okay. Let's see. I just saw on Etherscan that whales are increasing their portfolios with Shiba Inu the last days. Yeah, actually, in terms of Shiba Inu, this is something I've been talking about for a while, and this is this large holder net flow. Now, yesterday, like I talked about in my SHIB video earlier today, was a 172 billion SHIB outflow day, which marks only the third outflow day for Shiba Inu whales in the last 26 days. It's like 25, 26 days. So what you're seeing is actually during these times of discount, whales are adding, adding. Another thing that we tend to reference time and time again is actually what supply on exchanges is looking like. And I actually didn't look at this today at all, but we've seen a very consistent trend here in terms of Shiba Inu supply on exchanges. Removal. So supply is getting very limited for SHIB on exchanges because people are buying, hoarding, removing this upside liquidity, which again, that means that when we do make a move, it can be very, very aggressive. It can be very violent, and it's going to, frankly, it's one of those where people might be looking over the top. It just smacks them in the face on the way up. All right. Again, it's not a guarantee. It takes a while for this inverse correlation to happen here, but every time there is an inflection point where it does take place. Lowest Shiba Inu supply on exchanges ever. That's what the tagline for this should be. All right. Yeah, if BTC drops to 75, 76K, I'm going to have to find a way to get a lot of money and get it in the crypto market because yeah. What's going on with SWFTC? Swift coin. Good day. Up 11%. Ooh, 7. Oh, man. I do not know. That's a lot of volume, though. That is a lot of volume. For 177 million market cap, $321 million in volume without major centralized or without, okay, Coinbase. Did it just get a Coinbase listing? I wonder. Let's see. SWFTC. Coinbase. No. Interesting. I'm not sure. No idea. Couldn't tell you. Let's see. You're retiring by the end of the year. Yeah, I'm trying to get to that point as well. I keep telling the wife she should start a YouTube channel for making craft cocktails because she knows how to do it. That's kind of not even exactly, but she has done that for work. She knows what she's doing. She should start a YouTube channel making daily craft cocktails. I think that'd be kind of nice. Let her retire me. Tired of working so hard, dang it. All right. Freedom. I believe this will be the final dump. Then we take off. Yeah. And we've been talking about a final shakeout so many times. And I mean, the problem is just these little bits and pieces keep coming up that keep shaking the confidence of retail. And retail is the most essential thing in this next run. Basically, everybody's just acting like a bunch of weenies. All right. Now, pretty much everyone here has major conviction, right? It's the reason why, you keep coming back to the channel and watching the videos, and we keep talking about this long-term mindset, and it's eventually going to play out once these people that are new to the crypto market and maybe haven't weathered these stuff before, when they finally start realizing, oh, yeah, this is a normal thing. We're used, these drops aren't uncommon at all. In fact, we look at something like ADA last market cycle. How many drops of 30+% were there on this run? A ton of them. I think if I went back, if I go back and remember, I think it was like 10 or 12 of them or something like that during alt season. Okay, it's not an uncommon thing. We just need retail to stop freaking out and stop being a bunch of babies and just understand what's happening. Big adoption is coming. Embrace is happening, whether people like it or not. Please check Cocky New. I do think it's a hidden gem. Yeah, you keep bringing that up. Peaceful. I think it did pretty well the other day, didn't it? Let's see. I think the other day it went on a pretty nice rise. Thought I saw that. There it was, right there. See, I knew it was somewhere in here. It ran like 50% in like no time. Yeah, and just like everything else, I mean, this is a low market cap right now, 60 million market cap, pretty low volume, but I don't think this is on major exchanges. Yeah, it's mostly DeFi, it's some tier 2, tier 3 exchanges. It is on crypto.com, which is kind of nice, but really, again, what you need for something like this, something like SHIB, something like Pepe is you need retail sentiment to be high. And even right now, it's kind of funny because the crypto fear greed index shows a 54. It's not a 54. It's like a 30 right now. All right. This is kind of and I forget what they use to actually measure this, but most retail's not that confident. And maybe we kind of balance that out because of our conviction and our unwillingness to unload our bags. But yeah, we're down here. We're in this fearful range. People are freaking out about the economy, tariffs, stuff like that. And you know what? It'll go away eventually. It'll eventually get better. We just got to be patient, of course. Right. Let's see. Why don't I get notification when you go live? I don't know. YouTube's been having a lot of problems with that for quite some time. Yeah, it's really bizarre. I can't tell you why. Maybe uncheck the notifications, recheck the notifications, see if that works. And then this isn't the only channel. I've heard of other people on other channels having the same problem too. John Party Vlogs, enjoy your content, man. Hope life is good. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, life is good. Actually, on the farm, we're getting ready to calve, so I'm having to prepare for that now, which means more labor. Go figure. I'm already limited time. And let me just give you guys kind of an insight into my schedule during the day. So I go to sleep. All right. I wake up 4:30 in the morning is the latest I wake up. I'm in the office here at 5 o'clock in the morning. I start diving into fundamentals, looking at charts, looking at news articles. I have to have all my content done by 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Have to go outside, do chores, feed the calves, make sure the cows have hay, make sure everybody's got water. I'm out of the house by 7:35 at the latest. Okay. Then I go to work. Then I finally get off work at like 5:30, get home at 6, have to go out, do chores once again, deal with dinner, kids, all that stuff, and basically asleep by 10 o'clock at night. That's my daily routine, my daily schedule. I don't stray far from that. And then it's about trying to fit in other stuff. So for example, now we have a calving coming up, which means I'm gonna have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going out and checking for calves, just in case I have to assist with calving, in case I have to move a calf and a cow pair into the barn, stuff like that. It gets pretty crazy this time of year. All right. According to CryptoRank Analytics, Ethereum has only experienced one red February since it has been created. Yeah, you know what, Dakota, that's a good find. We have seen that with a lot of assets. For example, Shiba Inu, same thing. One red February ever, and it was the first February while it was still going through, or actually it was the first February experience, and it was right after it went on a massive like 48,000% rise to the upside. So yeah, February across the crypto market tends to be really, really good. Most Februaries in crypto have been green. So, and again, history isn't always the best indicator of what's coming, but if the trends are consistent, if the fundamentals are consistent, it points us in a direction that gives us a pretty good sense of confidence about what's coming. Now, understand that things can change. All right. Curveballs can come up. You guys remember the big curveball that happened in the crypto market just on the 19th, the Trump and Melania meme coin? Who in the hell in their right mind would have thought that was going to be the case? All right. And assets throughout the space were on breakouts, right? ADA was broken out of its trend. BTC was broken out of its trend. Shiba Inu was actually broken out of its trend, getting ready to extend. Okay. That's the big curveball that kind of sent us on these last few weeks of just suck. Okay. So it's kind of funny that, 2 weeks time are going to give people this idea that it's over and we're falling and all these different things. Right. But all right. What happens Monday? Stock market dumps on US harder in your opinion? It's tough to say because obviously the crypto market was open when the announcement was made. There is a lot of assessments that's already come out about tariffs, and it's really showing that the tariffs are not going to be as bad as people are anticipating or what they were expecting. So if we take a look at the NASDAQ, for example, it was already seeing some red, right? It was already having some negative days. So it's possible that fear could already be baked in. Obviously Friday, it got a pretty significant drop. So it's tough to say. We'll have to see what pre-market trading does. That should be a pretty good indicator of what may come the first half of the day, at least. Let's see. It's the fear of planes falling out of the sky every day. Yeah, no kidding. What is going on with that? I don't know if you guys saw, even before the one that got hit by the Black Hawk helicopter, there was a fighter plane that just fell out of the sky in Alaska on film. Like, and that makes me a little nervous because I'm going down to Marco in March. And yeah, I'm just going to freaking drive down there now. All right. Some of the biggest dips happen in bull markets. Yeah, 100% correct. Some of the biggest dips happen in bull markets because we see some of the most explosive gains, right? Right now, if ADA was doing what it's doing here, down here, that'd be a little concerning, but it just went on a 300, no, was it 300%? Yeah, 300% run to the upside, right? And this is the case for a lot of assets in the space. I wish the charts would stop bleeding right now. We'll see where this stops, guys. Let's see. Swift has been great too. Yeah. Lot of opportunity right now. A lot of assets have been doing quite well. Floki. Yeah, Floki had a big day the other day. I do own Floki. Yeah, look at this. Just look at that. Almost 30%. Now, Floki needs to get back up. It's, again, the biggest thing hurting meme coins, like I said earlier, is we haven't had a meme season in a long time. It's been since the early part of 2024. We need that again. We need retail confidence high. Thoughts on the MVRVZ score to mark the top? I've seen some people do that, and I feel like MVRVZ score is a better analysis of whether an asset is undervalued or not, and when it might be not a terrible time to accumulate. That's usually how I use that. What does everyone think about Shiba top out? I don't think SHIB's even close to its top yet. I don't even think it's had its biggest run of this cycle yet. BTC is okay for now, but altcoins are breaking supports and going to levels that got none of them. Yeah, I mean, alts are testing supports right now, but again, look back here, right? Total 2 right now, testing the bottom of its trend. We've had wicks down here before. It's possible it could go down to its 100-day and wick right back. Right now, everybody's freaking out. Like if we trying to figure out a way that I could cover this up. If we weren't looking at these days here, people would be freaking out, right? Oh my gosh, we're dropping, we're falling, right? And that's because you're right in the midst of a drop. But then what happens after that? We get sharp throwbacks back to the upside because the market is severely undervalued because there's huge opportunity throughout the space. There are always people that prey on the discounts. And right now we're getting the discounts. SNEC is going to fly. Yeah. SNEC, that Kraken listing is huge. BTC is dropping to 76K or so over the next weeks or 2 months. No, no. If it's going to hit 76K, it's got to be either in the summer or like we're not in the right time frame for BTC to drop that low. Will ETH hit $10,000? Yeah, I do think ETH is going to hit 10K. I earlier was thinking around like 12 to 15K would have made a lot of sense. There's been a lot of competitors that have been emerging, doing quite well. And again, the only concerning thing for ETH to me is that ETH hasn't found its bottom versus BTC. I mean, this other day, like this may have been the bottom. This may have in fact been a double bottom for ETH here. This may be a big confirmation. Well, can't draw. This may be a big confirmation for the market. Bro, someone teach me how to draw with a mouse. Jeez. This may have been a double bottom for ETH BTC. So we'll see. And if it starts getting a pretty sharp correction here, like if this, let's say this runs up, comes up to about 37, drops down to about 34 and forms this right shoulder of our inverse head and shoulders, that could be huge for ETH, especially running into that March, April, May timeframe. That would make a lot of sense. Let's see. Ugh. I hate when the chat scrolls by itself. I keep getting off topic here. that doesn't help. So many questions. Shoot. All right. Let's see. I got to blow through these. Okay. Been holding for Shiba 2 years. Been waiting for this moment. Yeah. I accumulated Shiba Inu deep in the depths of the bear market cycle, down in this fire sale range. Anybody that followed me on the channel at the time know that I was talking about this fire sale range, these cheap opportunities to accumulate Shiba Inu right down in this sub 507 range. That's where I got a lot of SHIB. I bought in this opportunity zone. I even bought up here. I bought down here. I've kind of bought and DCA'd on the way up because I always feel like I should have more because I understand the type of boom that can come with SHIB. And the IAG holders, I don't own any IAG, unfortunately. Can Terra Luna make a comeback? Terra Classic was actually doing a really good job of this. I actually used to talk about Terra Classic a lot on the channel. It was a very interesting proof of concept for something like the Cardano ecosystem, which was trying to approach full decentralization. And Terra Classic was going down a very similar path with governance. Obviously, as of late, it's been pretty quiet. There hasn't been a whole lot. I mean, guys, I used to talk about Terra Classic. Oh, this is a horrible chart because that's when it was Terra Luna. I think it was, yeah, why does it do this? Stupid thing. Maybe there, no. I won't be able to show it on here. I'd have to go on like, well, duh, I can do it here. Classic, LUNC, where is it? Let's go here. All right. Yeah, because I used to talk about it like back, I think that was in 2022, right here. It had gone on a very nice surge. Lots of, there's a lot of conflict going on within the community. And then obviously with the reopening of the, what was it? Basically the reopening of the pathways to the Cosmos ecosystem, I thought was a really big deal. The Binance burns were a really big deal too, which almost got messed up by the team that was leading this charge. So there's potential there, but it's gotten pretty quiet as of late. Oh yeah, make sure you guys smash the like button too. Whoops. I always forget to say that on streams. Let's see here. Let's see. Doge at $20. That's a high market cap, man. That is a really high market cap. I mean, I'm sure, anything is possible, right? Gosh, what would that put Doge at? $20. Wait. $2 trillion. That'd be over $3 trillion. That's big. That's a big number. Traditional investors. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel Barr. Appreciate it. I couldn't think of the word. Traditional investors. Gosh, it's a Saturday if you can't tell. All right. Charles said February is our month. Let's see. Yeah, February, I think is going to be a very good month once all this stuff calms down. Obviously, the Cardano ecosystem has a lot of stuff going on. The NDA that Charles has with, it must be Elon Musk or Starlink or whoever it is. I think that could be a very big deal. Obviously, we haven't even seen what this new administration's plan is yet in terms of crypto regulation and embrace here in the US. We know that Department of Government Efficiency is checking out all these public blockchains. So there's a lot of exciting things going on there that could turn February into a very big month for Cardano, for crypto in general. I ride with SHIB till we delete some zeros. Yep. I agree. I think SHIB has got a huge potential to knock off a couple zeros in this cycle. So we'll see what's happened. What's going on with XRP? I'm down 330 today. Just the ebbs and flows of the market, man. It's, again, this news just of the tariffs. They've dropped all alts right now. They've dropped BTC. They've dropped alts. It's because retail is just freaking out despite it not being that big of a deal. At least as of right now. The information that we've gotten, the assessments that we've seen so far, it's not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, but some people are freaking out. So, all right. Let's see. I'm also down some major money today. Yeah, I've lost a lot today, but I haven't sold, so I haven't lost. We've weathered these storms before. It's funny because things will rebound 10%. Oh, I just made 10% back. No, it's just the way it goes, right? You think this dip will help us get to QE? Yeah, it really could. And honestly, really might. No, they may make a meme coin ETF. Yeah. So coming back to that, because I can't remember what I said earlier. I think that we have a meme coin fund, like a meme coin basket ETF. I think that would make a lot of sense. I know that there are some indexes that have been currently set up for this. I can't remember if it's Fidelity. I think Fidelity has a meme coin. That's going to drive me nuts now. Meme coin index. Vector. That's who it is. Market Vector, meme coin index. See if SHIB is still the top. Yep, SHIB is still the top asset in this, despite being the second largest in terms of market cap. Yeah, and then they can actually sell out this index for an ETP, which is kind of interesting for those that aren't familiar with that. So they can sell out this structure to, Fidelity, Grayscale, whoever wants to buy this type of fund or this index fund, and then build basically an ETP off of it, which is kind of cool. What is QE? So quantitative easing is when there is a shift in monetary policy and they basically start printing more money. You see interest rates dropping. Basically, this tightening of the economy to limit spending, it starts to open up and go the opposite way. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyone panicking with their blankie? I love it. That's so funny. I should have brought a blanket in for that. That would have been great. XRP is already settled as not a security. SEC appealing secondary sales as a security. So important distinction here. XRP in the court case was deemed to be not an unregistered security. And in fact, what's interesting about this is the SEC has admitted that the underlying assets themselves are not unregistered securities. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but the SEC said the assets themselves are not unregistered securities. But now with this appeal, they're actually trying to overrule the XRP not being, or the XRP actually being, they're trying to have it changed in the ruling that XRP is an unregistered security, because what they've just realized, or what they had realized, is that when they said, oh, the assets themselves are not unregistered securities, they kind of screwed themselves, right? They tripped over their own feet. And if you guys haven't noticed, the SEC lawyers have been pretty dumb. They've made huge mistakes in countless cases. They've misrepresented information. They've said things that completely contradict what they've said on record before. So they were stumbling, right? Now we don't know what this new version of the SEC is going to look like. We don't know what the overhaul of the SEC is going to look like, but with the new pro crypto SEC chairman coming in, that's going to be a big deal towards righting the ship. If that makes sense. ADA will be over $2 by April easily. I think so. I think this next move is going to be really fast in the crypto market. Again, we need confidence. We just need confidence. That's it. I buy ADA at 76 cents. You're going to buy at 76, or you bought at 76. I mean, we had an opportunity at 76 all the way back here on December 20th. It's going to be very tough to get down there now, though, because again, this 100-day moving average, ADA does not like to go below. Where's our weekly? 20-week moving average, bull market support for ADA. A little bit different on alts. It doesn't carry the same kind of weight as it does on the BTC charts, but look where that's at, 80 cents, right? So we have strong support actually filling in on this floor right below ADA. You have a lot of buy orders that have filled in right here. And what we've seen again is a lot of this resistance right here, a lot of this resistance that was basically in this gap here. And even some of this resistance right down in this box right here has actually been removed. This is why I keep going back to, where is this? To this chart right here. Buying and removing, buying and removing, buying and removing. So all this upside liquidity, basically this big box of resistance that we're fighting against in terms of ADA and other assets, it's disappearing because people are buying and hodling. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense for people. I'm trying to figure out where to set my 50x limit buy order. I used to do some 50x's. I kind of got away from that. I stick to 10x's now just because right now, retail's trading with fear. We don't have the same kind of carry we did in the summer. Again, some of those, it depends on what it is. Like moving averages are good. Bands of support are good. Yeah, it's tough with this tariff news because again, people are misinterpreting what it actually means. That's why I think this is so funny. This is a huge gift in the crypto market, and people are freaking out. It's like, this is nothing. Like what? Right? All right. All manipulation by the market makers and the cabal. There you go. I agree with the market maker for sure. Or a cooking show. She could do a cooking show. She's actually a very good cook. Has a lot of good recipes. Actually, her and I both enjoy cooking. I've made some just absolutely killer recipes. I gotta show you. There's this honey garlic chicken I make, which is awesome. The kids love that. There's never leftovers. I have this sticky garlic pork chops. That is incredible. I really like that. The wife thought it was okay. And then there's a sweet bacon wrap pork loin. That's fire too. All right, so close to selling all my ADA. Where is the price action? Lakeside. You got to remember, man, right now, ADA's stuck moving with everything else. ADA is a very retail-driven coin, so when retail sentiment isn't there, ADA's not going to do a lot of things. Now, where ADA's kind of interesting is, again, ADA has LPs with some other assets in the crypto market because of exchanges, but it doesn't have the same kind of large LPs that some other assets have, which means it can actually decorrelate from the crypto market a little bit easier, which is why we've seen times where, you know, the market's moving, but ADA's kind of flat, or times where the market's kind of flat and then ADA's separating and moving by itself. Hopefully that makes sense, but it's still very retail driven. Let's see here. I'll take my chances with institution and whales. Screw retail. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Again, you know, most retail is late to the game. They're always behind, and we're not. We're ahead of the game. So I just like the sign we yell at games. Yeah, we all need signs on the side of the road. Buy crypto. Buy crypto. Let's see here. All right, Leaf Snack is the one. What's up, Ernie? How's it going, man? Sorry if it took me a while to get to your comment. I've been trying to catch up in the chat. And guys, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the support you guys have given over these years to the channel. It's incredible how much it's grown. 29,000 subscribers now on YouTube. Again, if you're new or haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. I'm excited to see how big we can get in this bull market cycle. Maybe 100K, maybe 200, maybe 1 million. That'd be sick. That'd be so cool. See, and really what I'd love to do, guys, is I'd love to get to the point where we're full-time doing content, because there are so many things that I would love to talk about in real time, additional coins that are in my portfolio that I don't get to talk about on the channel because, again, time is limited. But all right, let's see. Hold on just 1 second. Apparently my kids are being bad. His sister stuck up the middle finger. He's punching and kicking me. Guys, go relax. Go relax. All right. She stuck up the middle finger again. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyways, what's up, Arjun? I'm afraid ADA will not hit $2 before this summer. We need to remember how fast things can move in the crypto market. You can be stagnant for months at a time, and then you can make these accelerated runs in no time at all, right? You got to remember that even in last market cycle, for example, once ADA did in fact break $1, it didn't break $2 until May, right? First broke $1 in February, didn't break it until May. 3 months of stagnation, okay? And right now, we're kind of in a couple months of stagnation, right? We're basically sideways. Nothing has really changed here. We're still in our descending broadening wedge, which is good. And we talked about the target of that today, where that breakout would run to. And again, the big thing that's going to help is just this removal supply. Sentiment is the last piece of the puzzle. It's the last thing we need. And eventually it'll be here. Let's see. How likely is it that February will be a bad month for crypto? I don't think it's terribly likely. Again, it's all sentiment driven, but historically speaking, February tends to be good. Capital's on exchanges. It's ready to go. Search metrics across the crypto market are high. So it's not like the summer of 2024 where everything kind of fell and was quiet and nobody really cared. People are paying attention, and they're paying attention to what's happening with the administration. They're paying attention to what's happening with BTC, what's happening with institutional money. All that stuff is on people's radar right now. Not everybody, because again, you'll talk to some Joe Blow Schmo in your daily life and they may not care, but there's going to come a point where those people are asking you about crypto. I don't know about you guys. I've seen that time and time again. All right. Let's see. Did I grow up on this farm? No, I actually did not grow up farming. My wife is the one that got me into farming. It just kind of got thrust on me, and I just took off running. Oh gosh, I should have had a man. I should have pulled this. I'll pull up this picture from when I first from the. So we got the farm here. She already was farming. We got our farm here, and the second and third day that we were here, I was actually pulling calves. So. Here's someone you guys haven't seen on the stream in a while. He's getting big. He is walking all over the place. He's a crazy man. He's got tons of attitude, just like his sister.
Hey.
Yes. Okay. You guys.
How much is shortly?
A few minutes. I'll be out soon.
How many minutes?
All of them.
Oh, the enter.
All right, let's see. So 280K to 400K BTC possibly. I think that's tough for this market cycle. It's a pretty big number. We would need, let me say this. If government reserves become a thing, if they're actually accumulating BTC and other countries start following, you might start seeing some pretty insane prices in terms of BTC. So Bystander says, why do you make videos every day lying to your viewers, saying Shiba Inu is Shiba Inu to explode, and it never does? All right, so here's the thing. Shiba Inu fundamentals, they're set for a Shiba Inu explosion, right? Just as we've looked at this many times before, I've been covering Shiba Inu here on the channel since day one. So we're talking now 2.5 years of Shiba Inu content. And what I look at is what's happening behind the scenes. Are we seeing whale accumulation? Are we seeing this continued removal of supply from exchanges? Are we seeing retail sentiment start to increase? Are we seeing more conviction in terms of holders? When we see those things, it means that Shiba Inu can explode. And what you need is buying activity, right? You need excitement. And right now in the crypto market, while we have had moments of excitement, it hasn't been a consistent excitement, the type of excitement that leads you to retail adoption, that turns those people that are searching for Shiba Inu and other assets on the internet, that turns them into buyers instead of just watchers, right? And that's the big thing we're waiting for. Now, that being said, Shiba Inu has exploded many times where I've been saying it's going to explode, right? We saw it make a very violent move back here. Saw it make a violent move here, right? I've said Shiba Inu is going to explode many times before, or that it's ready for an explosion, right? As always, this isn't a guarantee because there is more that goes into the crypto market than TA. Fundamentals are a big indicator, but remember, Shiba Inu is a retail-driven coin, and retail sentiment is very wishy-washy. There's times where it's awesome, pump 60%. Oh, that's awesome. And there's times like, oh my gosh, tariffs. Oh, gotta dump the charts, right? Hopefully that makes sense, right? So no, I'm not lying to people. This stuff is present, right? And we need the sentiment to follow. We need the activity to follow. All right. So first it would happen in December, then January and February. I already talked about that. Let's see. I pushed a motive saying Shiba Inu would explode, yet it's pulling back and deeply red. I just talked about that. Anyways. Let's see. All right. No one can predict the market. But we can speculate on the overall trend. Yeah. Yep. Again, I mostly look at fundamentals. Fundamentals are the most important thing. If we saw massive liquidations from whales across the market, if we saw huge supplies of assets going back to exchanges, that's not a good sign. Neither one of those are good. If we're seeing search metrics around the world drop to like nothing, that's not a good sign. There are things that could be big indicators of further downside and drop in the market and things like that. But a lot of that stuff's not happening. So what we're seeing is a lot of just manipulation, a lot of game playing. It's not an uncommon thing. It's not the first time we've seen it in this market cycle. And what's kind of funny is, haters and people will say negative things, and I really don't get bothered by the negative comments. I really don't care. I give this information to people for free so that people can make their own decisions based on that. And if you haven't noticed that people get really loud when the charts are dropping, the negative people, but then they shut the hell up when the prices are pumping. Okay. It's a game. I don't know, whatever. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I think the real question. All right. I'm just going to. Let's see. All right. What other questions do we have? It looks like someone in the chat is being disruptive. And again, I tend to have an open forum. Like, unless people be absolutely disruptive and they're just causing problems, I really don't care. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, man, the chat jumped around again. Oh, let's see here. I think I know who you are. Oh, yeah. So get this, guys. I remember this comment. So this guy, bystander, yep. I'm going to call you out here. So he said, it's been 31 days and it's in the teens. You shouldn't be making videos saying 3 zeros, 1 in 30 days, 100% to influence people to buy or hold. That's illegal. And it's a quote of another person saying it and me saying that it's possible because frankly, those moves are possible. We've seen very aggressive moves from Shiba Inu in the past in a matter of days. All right. And apparently he deleted his response, but he was talking about it being, let's see. He was talking about it being financial advice, which says down below, it's not financial advice. And I make sure I say that in every video, even though people say, why do you say that? And there was something else. Anyways, can't even remember what he all responded. But the point being, right, I give this information so that people can make educated decisions on what they want to do. I give people some insight into what I'm doing. I show you guys, obviously, my long and short positions. I don't expose my total portfolio or what I completely have. Again, if you guys do want to see that, if you want to have access to, what I'm buying, when I'm selling, stuff like that, you guys can obviously check out my Patreon if you want. I always keep forgetting to talk about it. There's little nuggets I drop in there all the time that have prepped people for a lot of assets that have done incredibly well. For big moves in the market, news that people need to pay attention to. But, I just forget to do it. Actually, it was kind of funny because there was a couple different guys that were saying, oh yeah, you got to make a Patreon. And I just always was always just dragging my feet on doing it. Anyways. All right, let's see. Bystander also says almost 4 years since Shiba Inu has seen an all-time high when BTC hit over 100K, major catalyst, and Shiba Inu is in the teens. You got to understand how a market cycle works. It's talked about this in tons of videos. All right. So we're going to keep on moving on from his comments because he's just trolling now. All right. Let's see. Did I miss your comment, Clark, here? Okay. I watch almost every video you post and was just curious as far as to what you think crypto may do this year. I still think we have a huge boom that's coming. I don't think this is delaying anything. And really what it may be doing, in fact, is making this compression of energy burst even harder. And what I mean by that is the moves that we're going to see are probably going to be even more aggressive than they could have been or should have been, which can be good and can be bad, right? The more aggressive and the faster moves take place, the more likelihood you have of retracements, all right? So like, for example, something like Shiba Inu was making a very aggressive move to the upside, did a 4.5x in 7 days, but because of that, it faced retracement. Now, granted, the summer sucked anyways for crypto across the space, but then what we started to see on the recovery was sustainability, right? And unfortunately, obviously, we dealt with some retracement in December. We got the Trump Melania meme coins that pushed us down further. Just kind of some of these negative events that have sucked some liquidity from the market and made the markets do some weird stuff. But for the most part, again, all those fundamentals, nothing's really changed. So that's why I don't get why people are freaking out. Maybe they don't see what I see, but you know what? Everybody's in control of their own bags. They can do what they want. All right, let's see. BTC dominance has topped out at 60%, and alts haven't even run yet. The ones that have had pumps ride BTC wave up. Yeah, BTC dominance hasn't really had a breakdown. And in fact, understand that the only reason that BTC dominance actually even broke its long-term trend was because of institutional money. This is normally where BTC dominance has a sharp rejection and begins its drop down, right? We can see this back here in 2017, can see this here again in 2021. And now right here, should have done this actually in August. But again, if this wasn't the case, we wouldn't have even been, if institutional money wasn't there, we wouldn't have even gotten close to this line yet. All right. Now, what we do need to watch for, though, is actually this downside on BTC dominance has actually been increasing cycle after cycle. So, for example, 2 cycles ago, the bottom was 35%. Last cycle, it was around 39%, which means that, now with institutional money, it's probably even more likely that BTC dominance doesn't drop as far, but it doesn't need to because the amount of capital to go around is larger, right? We may see BTC dominance somewhere in the mid 40s. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And we have all the time in the world to get there. All right, let's see. Vitus said, funny thing that in the past 2 months, everyone is talking about pumping. Oh, when Trump's becomes president, it will pump. Yeah, sure. Dream it. We're 11 days post inauguration. I don't know why people are making judgment calls right now on what this administration is going to come to crypto. We're already seeing an SEC overhaul take place. We have the Department of Government Efficiency exploring public blockchains. There is this now executive order to explore a crypto, a digital asset stockpile. I mean, these are pro crypto things, but what we're seeing is games in the market, right? And the retail that we're waiting for, they don't know what the hell is going on. And when they're going to eventually, right? But it's been 11 days. Let's cool our jets, right? All right. Luxide has been telling us to buy the entire bear market. It was great advice. I mean, I never tell people to buy. People can always do what they want. Have I identified some of the greatest opportunities to accumulate? Sure. I've told people when I'm accumulating, like down here, I was like, yep, I'm adding to my bag. We may never see these prices again. And guess what? We didn't. We won't. They gone. All right. The growing dominance of BTC pisses me off and scares me at the same time. In terms of BTC dominance, again, I don't want to spend too much time on this. This chop that we're seeing right now is not an uncommon thing, right? This chop zone we hit here right after the start of the drop off. This chop zone we hit right here, right? This isn't anything new. It's before the big cliff, okay? And now there's been more events that have caused more volatility on the BTC dominance chart. We should be doing this at a lower range, but some of this retail fear has caused it to go just a little bit higher. And in fact, just looking at this right now, guys, you may have actually seen a double top here. Okay. Just want to point that out. Obviously this isn't a guarantee, but we just got to watch it. We just got to be patient here. Charts going down again. Yep. Again, it's a weekend. It's low volume, $91 billion. I mean, the weekends are when we typically do see some retracement. There's not been a lot of buying on the weekends over the last few weeks. So let's see. Scam side crypto will face lawsuits. You're an idiot. You're gone. Anyways. All right. Let's see. What are some of the lower cap coins you're checking out? So I did talk about this just a little bit earlier. So a lot of these AI coins, low cap, like, around 200 million and below. I think some of these have huge opportunities for upside, especially if we get another AI cycle, which I think we will. AI narrative is really big right now. AI agents are emerging. I think retail is becoming a lot more familiar with AI. And so when they see AI, when they are getting into the space, we're probably going to see a lot of these make some pretty big headway. If you guys remember in early 2024, there were a ton of AI coins that did like a 10x in a very short period of time. For example, take a look back at Fetch here entering 2024. It ran from all the way down at 20 cents all the way up to $3, right? This can be tracked for Fetch, for Render, for many of these AI coins throughout crypto. So it wouldn't surprise me because that narrative hasn't really died, and in fact, it's now being embraced in another way. So let's see. BlackRock buying XRP. I don't have BlackRock's wallet. I'm gonna look into that. There's been some speculation that they've been buying XRP. I can't confirm that or deny that though, but it wouldn't surprise me. And I've talked about this before. It wouldn't surprise me if an XRP spot ETF is actually more popular than an Ethereum spot ETF. And the reason why is because obviously XRP is one of the few assets in this space that has a worldwide use case and is used in a big way and has for years. For example, take a look right now. Ethereum, only $2.76 billion in total cumulative net flows versus something like BTC that's had 40 billion. All right. XRP probably going to be somewhere in the middle of those two over the course of its first 6 months to a year. All right. So, and now obviously with this headwind that XRP has been fighting against starting to clear, that's going to be a big deal for people, institutional money that's getting into the space in general. What's up, Miguel? Hope your night's going well. What are my thoughts on Pepe? So I think meme coins are going to do well. I think this might be one of the last big cycles for meme coins. Again, I've talked about the shift towards tech-driven adoption. I mean, maybe we get another extended cycle where mass adoption is really focused on memes, and that could still be the case for a while, right? I'm just saying that I think this is the last big cycle where we get a major boom on some of these blue chip memes. So I think Pepe can do incredibly well. I don't own any Pepe. I've never owned any Pepe. I think that SHIB is still going to outpace Pepe in this market cycle. Pepe's actually passed, Trump has fallen below Pepe, but I think that Pepe could honestly, it's tough to say. It's tough to say really, right? Because Doge hit $100 billion. No. Did it hit 100 billion last market cycle? Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing my train of thought. Because Doge hit $100 billion last market cycle. SHIB hit a $50 billion market cap last market cycle. Obviously, Pepe, it's newer, right? And what comes with that is, I'm losing my train of thought, I swear. What comes with that is more centralization. You need time for this dilution of holders. And so right now, I believe Pepe has about 400,000 holders in it, meaning that there's still some wallets that are big Pepe whales that are going to affect the charts in a big way. So for example, when we look at just a couple days ago, I think it was actually back here on the 26th, we saw massive unloading by Pepe whales. All right. And this actually created a further gap between Shiba Inu and Pepe. And it's because the whales that are existing in Shiba Inu, a lot of them have been around for a while, and they're a more convicted holder than some of these Pepe whales are. And this isn't to dog Pepe or anything like that. This is just part of the life cycle that you have to go through as an asset. So what I think will happen is Pepe is going to see a lot of volatility. What that means is that it's going to go on massive runs to the upside, but it's probably going to have more exaggerated drops along the way as more people are taking profit. There's a lot of people in Pepe that got in really early and haven't been around a full market cycle yet. Because again, Pepe has only been around since 2023, I believe. So I think it's going to do well. Volumes remaining high. It's not like people are losing interest in Pepe or anything like that. Tons of other projects launching off the Pepe name and stuff like that. So I still think it's going to do incredibly well. Just like you said, retail freaking out and being emotional. Yeah, agreed, 100%. Do I still believe that SHIB will peak at 305 through 201? Yeah, I'm still thinking that's going to be the case. Again, it's going to be violent. I'm not saying it's going to stay at those prices forever. And this is something that people need to remember. When we talk about these all-time highs, it doesn't mean that, oh, that's the range that it's settling into. It can be an absolute wick that runs there, right? For example, even when SHIB earlier on this market cycle went on a run to 4045, it was a wick. It was down to back to 4036 in no time. Okay. I've seen assets go on insane runs and retrace 50% over the course of 30 minutes. Okay. So I still think SHIB's going to get there, but don't be surprised if it's a wick. Okay. That's what I have to say on that. Let's see. All right. I'm losing sight of the chat here. Let's see. Okay. 301 is a $100 billion market cap. Oh, for Pepe? Wait, what? For which coin? Oh, let's see. Why is crypto red? Emilio. Yep. So the reason that crypto's red is the tariff effect. Basically, retail right now is freaking out for no reason because they don't realize that the tariffs, at least as of right now, the information that we have, it's not going to make much of a difference. Most people are not going to feel a big impact from this. It's come out to somewhere between $100 to $200 a month. So between $1 to $2 grand a year. We'll see, right? We'll see if anything changes, if there's more developments that come on top of that. But it's basically a big overreaction, market makers pushing things, long liquidations taking place. It's the same kind of stuff we've seen time and time again. What exactly make the start of this big moves? What do we need? Is that what you mean, sir? Joking? I mean, what we need positive retail sentiment. We need the capital that's parked on the sidelines and USDT dominance to start flowing back to the space. We need the total 2 and the total 3 to start making their breakouts. We now started a green daily candle. Hey, guys, we're green again. That's awesome. Stop the count. I'm kidding, obviously. But remember, on a lot of these quote unquote bad news days, we tend to have back-to-back days of red followed by nice recoveries. All right. Like look back here, back-to-back days of red, nice recovery, back-to-back days of red, nice recovery, back-to-back days of red, nice recovery. Sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it's 3 days. We'll see what happens. All right. I'm just going to do a couple more. What's up, MP? Look at you live. Yeah. All right. Mike Finch, appreciate your videos. Looks like, hey, appreciate you too, man. Appreciate the viewership, everyone. Like I said, it's incredible how much the channel has grown. Did not think that, this was going to be possible. I still remember when someone told me, yeah, you should be on YouTube. And for anybody that was here the early days of the content, I apologize. I know it was rough, but obviously we've grown a lot since then. So let's see here. What else do we got? Any last questions, guys? Let's see. Did we already went over the ADA charts? Yeah, we kind of went over them. Again, we're basically at the range that we talked about ADA potentially coming down to, this 90-cent range. If we do continue to see downside, watch for this support at about 85 cents. But our 100-day moving average, ADA does not like to go below. And then also again on the weekly, we have our 20-week moving average, which is ADA bull market support, actually approaching, it's above 80 cents right now. So we have some key levels of support right below here if the charts do continue to go red. So yeah, that's kind of a quick assessment on that. Actually, I don't know where my MACD and my RSI went. Those are floating right on the edge of flipping positive. So we could see some good momentum. Especially as we get into next week. This is why I talked about next week and next week potentially being a very good time. What are you doing? Whoa. You all right? You're okay. Oops. My stream always gets interrupted by my children. All right. Okay, let's see here. What else do we got? Let's see. Just skip past the BS and don't let it get to. Yeah, the BS doesn't get to me. So I used to be a professional gamer. For the people that aren't familiar, I played Halo for many, many years. I was on the pro circuit. Started competing in 2006, went through 2014, no, 2013. And I dealt with so many haters along the way. I used to stream daily, and I got to this point where it didn't really bother me. I have thick skin anyways. And frankly, I stopped caring what people thought about me a long time ago. And for anybody that lets that stuff bother them, and here's my motivational speaker coming in, right? Anybody that lets that stuff bother them, who cares what they think, right? You do you, have confidence in what you do, and push forward. That is how you make it in this world. Boom. Boom. All right. Anyways. All right. Alt found. I don't know that one. Let's see. It is above 34, so my DCA is still in profit. Yeah, I mean, most of my assets are in profit, except for stuff that I bought over the last 24 hours. My Paul is negative, of course. And actually, I have some more capital coming, so I want to pick up more, again, of Paul and some other low cap AIs. Ondo, I'm just barely in negative right now. I bought a 136 something, but I just wanted to make sure, again, I got some. Do I know anything about Rex's finance? Is it real or is it a scam? It looks like 100% a scam, to be honest with you. I see those articles pop up all the time. My brother-in-law actually asked me about that. I said, stay away from it. Who knows? Maybe it's something, but those ones that I've been looking at Rex's articles since like early in 2024. If it's something that's been around that long and it hasn't launched yet, it's probably a scam. Just like, again, what's the other one? Probably BlockDAG. That looks like a big old scam too. Let's see. What does the event say? What's the event she say Ethereum is going to die? I don't think Ethereum's going to die. They're about to go through a big upgrade. It's supposed to fix fees. We'll see what happens. I think a big misconception was that when ETH 2.0 came out, people were anticipating ETH 2.0 actually fixing fees, and that was never the case in the first place. It was all it was supposed to do was make ETH deflationary and actually move from proof of work to proof of stake. Now they're actually addressing the major issues that they have, which who knows? Maybe that's something that reinvigorates the Ethereum blockchain and causes ETH to go on big runs, right? Let's see. Almost for sure there'll be an announcement that stops the tariffs and the market pumps. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, if we get an announcement that think about this, right? What if these tariffs are just to foster a good trade agreement? Think about that, right? Trump is a very business-minded person. He's a very aggressive person, and he likes to strong arm people into doing stuff. Which, I mean, that's old business for those that aren't familiar. Some people may hate it, but that's the way you used to get business done. And think about what that could actually do, because that could foster some incredible trade agreements. And then you see everything just go on insane booms, especially if it's stuff that is going to be extremely beneficial for the US. Just a thought there, just a thought. And that's another thing that I've thought about before. And that's why I accumulate, because I don't think the tariffs are going to last forever. Again, understand long-term tariffs can lead towards US booms. They can lead towards more manufacturing here in the US, cheaper prices because there is more manufacturing taking place. It's all about the long term in those regards. And many people, they see the short-sighted nature, and I get it. I would hate to see prices go up in the short term. Again, what we're seeing from an analysis and an analytical standpoint is that it's not going to affect things that much anyways, but just something to consider, right? We have to look at these things from all possible sides, all possible angles. All right. My thoughts on HBAR. Awesome. I like Derigraph. HBAR has done incredibly well. Again, it's one of those US based assets. Obviously HBAR going to space, big deal. Really good narrative right now. I would not be surprised if HBAR pushes towards the top 10 in this market cycle. Would not surprise me at all. Met a guy at my local bar who bought a bunch of Bitcoin at $5. He made millions and said he wished he didn't sell as much as he did. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's what we talked about, Gosh, back when I was a professional gamer, I used to give lessons to people. And there was a guy that wanted to pay me in Bitcoin. And I tried to figure out the whole wallet thing and could not figure it out. And so I said, screw it, pay me cash. I went on my old computer back when I got into crypto. And I was like, oh, did I accept crypto? And I didn't. So that's my shoulda, coulda, woulda story. Not making that mistake again. I am 2.5 leverage with SHIB. Is it possible for it to reach 1,300? That's my liquidation. It's very, very difficult for Shiba Inu to get down to those levels. Because again, right now it's sitting on key support. We don't want to see it break below 4016. So that's a range to really watch. And then down here, I mean, there's a lot in between there. There's 4015, which is a mini level of support, right? And then right down here, you can see I got my notification. Oh, you probably can't see that. I got an alert set at 40143 because that was resistance and support. That's right at where the tip of this is. And then even further down here is about 40125. So that would be below your range, but you're fighting through a lot of capital. This right now is a big discount. Guys, this is even further, right? At that point, right now, we're sitting down about 50%, 46%. We're 46% down from the December high. To get to 1,300, you're talking a drop of 60%. While that can happen in the crypto market, right now, again, the fundamentals, they're not showing that. I'm not going to say it's not possible, right? Because obviously there's a very distinct trend that's playing out right now, but there's a lot in the way. You got to go through a lot of bodies to get down there, right? Talos AI. I've heard of that. That's another low cap, if I'm not mistaken. Oh shoot, the chat jumped around again. I hate that. There's got to be a better way. Any ideas of AI products to put our profits in? Can't give you financial advice, but again, some of those lower cap AIs, if they do what we saw from early 2024, many of those projects may do 10, 20X's like it's nothing. It's going to be absolutely incredible what happens in the crypto market when excitement is here, when retail adoption is taking place. It's going to be really, really fun. Sui is sucking right now. Yeah, I didn't chase the Sui narrative. Here's the thing. People like to chase, I don't want to say fads, right? But they like to chase fads. What's the hot coin, right? What's the big thing, the next big thing, right? I remember this being the case for Caspa. Caspa was the awesome thing. It was going to do incredibly well. Now, I think Caspa is still going to do incredibly well. I own some Caspa myself, but if you haven't noticed, it's gotten pretty quiet. Then it was Toncoin, one of the most manipulated price-wise that we've seen. Gosh, Toncoin surging up on the incredibly low volume that it had. Like, come on. I didn't fall for that at all. And of course, people were saying, Toncoin, it's the next big thing. It's going to surge. It's doing incredibly well. Now, nobody cares. Sui, hot narrative, doing incredibly well. A lot of VCs, a lot of centralization. Very similar to Solana, right? It's cooling off a little bit. The narrative surrounding Sui is cooling off. So again, what you can get to these ranges on hype, but you need good stuff and sustainability and community to keep you there. All right. I'm not saying it doesn't have that, but just something to think about. I don't chase green candles. I don't chase projects that have already pumped thousands of percent. Gosh, freaking Trump coin, I saw at $23 on the way up. I could have wrote it to 80, right? But again, I'm not going to chase a coin that's already pumped thousands of percent. It's not my jam. I'm not exit liquidity. I'm just chilling, watching, and waiting, right? All right, I'm gonna have to wrap her up here. I'm gonna do like one or two more. All right, baby's getting angry. All right. I wish you and your family the best, but as data and information security specialist, please do not name your family members, region you live in, etc. It's bad world, and we live in need to stay safe. Yeah. I'm always very careful. I don't disclose names or location or anything like that. Very cautious. You got to be careful out there. There's a bunch of crazies in this world. I don't know if you guys saw. Who was it? One of the guys who founded. Was it Tether? No, it wasn't Tether. There was a guy who founded Tether. what was it? He he got like kidnapped and they were like beating the crap out of him and like cut off one of his fingers or something like that. I mean, just crazy, sick world, man. So I hope everybody just makes money so nobody has to do anything. So, hey, I'm streaming. There's the wife, everyone. She doing?
Oh, nothing.
Working? Coming home?
In a little bit, I have one of my high school kids is interviewing me because I am an entrepreneur.
Oh, you are, huh?
See,
My wife's getting interviewed because she's an entrepreneur. Very interesting. Hey, I'm one of those too.
no.
And they agreed you should start your YouTube channel.
Oh my god. I'm talking to people about this.
What's that? I will keep talking to as many people as it takes. All right, I'll call you back.
Okay.
Love you, bye. Oh, she is funny. I keep telling her to start the freaking YouTube channel. My gosh, make the drinks. It's not that hard. People love alcohol. We're in a niche market, right? Crypto right now. A lot of people in the world drink and they love easy to make cocktails. Just gold mine. Absolute gold mine. It's what she does already. All you got to do is just do what you do and film it, right? Simple. Let's see. All right. What do I do for a living? So yep, YouTuber. I have a beef cattle operation. I actually sell new and used vehicles. Been doing that now for 8.5 years. So yeah, it's always busy. Always busy. Let's see. Do I think people are moving to newer meme coins and getting away from the older ones? So some liquidity is flowing to new meme coins, but just as fast as that is happening, people are having a bad time and they're leaving some of those new meme coins, right? And that's why really when we look at this list outside of Trump meme coin, there's not a lot of new faces to the party. Yes, Pudgy Penguins kind of came up out of nowhere. Brett has surged and done quite well. I actually own some Brett. I'm down heavily on Brett right now, like 66%, I think. I bought way too high, but obviously some of those AI meme coins like Fartcoin and AI 16Z, Mog has kind of been coming up too. But there's Toshi has done well, but again, I said it would have a big retracement. It's having a big retracement right now. But you get the point. I mean, a lot of these ones, they're not making that headway towards sustainability. That's where the big difference is. Ledger Guy, that's what it was. Ledger Guy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Check out Sui ecosystem. It isn't all that great. Yeah, I mean, there are coins that have done really well, but they don't have the stuff. They don't have the tech, right? Cooking channel. Yeah, she could cook. She could cook, man. All right, let's see. Mog will rip. Yeah, I think Mog can do incredibly well. Appreciate the level-headed perspective on Shiba Inu. Yeah, thank you. I try to keep things as level-headed as possible. Obviously, I'm a macro bull. I believe in the macro cycle. I think right now, what we're seeing, nothing different than what we've seen cycle after cycle after cycle. If we zoom out, it's all the same. Yes, the players are different. The pieces are different. The news is different, but we follow the same trend over and over and over again, right? Does Shiba Inu have tech? I mean, yeah, per se. So Shiba Inu is decentralized. It's a renowned smart contract. It was one of the purest launches ever because the founder, Ryoshi, didn't keep any bags for himself. So that's a pretty big deal. It's in every single payment network in the world. It is there is the SHIB ecosystem, which is its own thing. It's community members that tried to do something that hasn't quite gone right, but could still potentially go right. So it's got a lot of stuff going on in its favor. Biggest thing I would say about Shiba Inu, cult-like mentality. And that is the reason why SHIB has done what it's done. It's why it's become a blue chip asset. It's why it's stuck around. It's also the reason why you see this holder base continuing to hold. Even in times where price is dropping, it's all prepping for the next big move. So that's really exciting stuff. When will ADA decouple from BTC? It can decouple at any time, to be honest with you. I mean, what I talked about earlier was the fact that it doesn't necessarily have the same kind of LPs as many other assets. Like, for example, SHIB and Ethereum, huge correlation because there's this big liquidity pool between Shiba Inu and ETH. So as ETH moves, it tends to drag Shiba Inu around with it. I don't know why I'm doing that with my hands, right? But you guys get the point, right? When ETH moves, SHIB tends to move with it, but SHIB can move faster because there is less upside liquidity. So it can kind of separate a little bit, but tend to follow the same trend. ADA, on the other hand, doesn't have those big same LPs. So while there will be times where it's correlated with the market, it can actually separate a little bit easier. That's why we've seen ADA go on big runs when BTC is flat, or we've seen BTC go on big runs while ADA is flat, right? Lit up 100% today. There you go. Anybody that's getting gains today? I mean, that's awesome. Look at guys. Look at this sea of green. What? Incredible, right? What a difference a new daily candle makes. ADA up 1%. Let's see. ETH up 0.75%. SHIB, up 0.7%, 75%. Guys, we are pumping. This is hot. Maybe we'll have a good Sunday. I'm not ready to call that yet, but all right, let's see. King, Luck, can I share you my portfolio and could you suggest ideas? Yeah, I mean, I I can tell you what I like, what I don't like. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't give you any direction on it, but let's see. Robert C, I disagree this year. It will lose a 0 and then I will take profits. Oh, yeah, Shiba Inu. Yeah. I do agree. I believe that Shiba Inu is going to drop off a 0 this year. Maybe a second one. We'll see what happens. I'll tell you always be a mechanic to your friends and family, whoever knows you rave around vehicles. It's a curse, like owning a tow truck. So you don't have to be a mechanic anymore. Yeah, I get it, man. I would love to be able to just take a step back, golf a lot more. I really enjoy golfing. I did a ton of it this last year. I plan on doing more. I started golfing when I was a kid. I'm pretty decent at golf. I'm like, not to brag or anything, but I'm like a 15 handicap, okay? Or it might be like a 13, I don't know. It's not great, but it's getting better. And I would love to spend more time doing that, more time with my kids. They're obviously growing up fast. They have their own activities. I mean, I'm looking forward to, after all this time, just actually throttling back a little bit. I have grinded for so long, and most of you guys don't know my story. So here's just a little story for you guys. So back in 2019. So my wife and I were both working. We had a couple kids at that point already, and our jobs weren't sustaining what we needed them to. And so we got into these periods of extreme debt. And I'm sure many people have gone through these same things. And so we were trying to figure out, what can we pay late to actually make our bills work so that we're not getting hit with, huge late charges, or we're not having people coming and knocking on our door. And, I actually took on a second full-time job. I was working 50 hours a week at the dealership. I was working 40 hours a week at a Kroger distribution center and driving a stand-up forklift at night, just grinding away to try to tackle the financial burden that we had. And luckily, I mean, I'm a very driven person. In our family here, the biggest thing I say is we don't say can't. All right. That is the number one thing that we do not say in this family, because there's always a way. There's always a way to do something. And we managed to get through that time. And basically that extra money became just play money. And then obviously, I eventually got into the crypto market. I got into content and all that stuff. But the point I want to make is, no matter how bad it seems, there's always a way out. You can always push further. You can always do more, right? Again, I've told you guys what my schedule looks like. I get up at 4:30 in the morning, start my day. I'm working until 5:30 at night, sometimes even beyond that, like on the farm and stuff. And when you push yourself that hard when you're young, you can relax as you start to get older. So I am looking forward to the time where I don't have to work as hard as I do now. I probably don't have to work as hard as I do now, but I push because I want to be able to relax. I want to have that free time. And I'm sure many people could probably relate to that. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. not being able to pay property taxes, not being able to, pay your mortgage on time, like that stuff, that's not a fun area to be in. So for anyone going through the same thing, there's always a way. Always a way. Do you think when they start ETFs on XRP that it will cause XRP to run? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's my sob story, guys. In case anyone was wondering. But yeah, that's about all I got for you guys tonight. I appreciate you guys coming out to the stream. Went a little bit longer than I thought it would, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about. I really wanted to just encourage people to have conviction. Again, you can always do what you want. It's always up to you. You're 54 and still can't relax. See, and that's the beauty of crypto, is that crypto can change that. No matter what your age is, no matter where you're at financially, what your position is, crypto has the ability to completely change your stars, to completely change the way that you live your life. All right. So we have an exciting bull run ahead, exciting adoption ahead. What we're seeing right now in the crypto market, it doesn't change anything from a week ago, a month ago, a few months ago. The embrace is still coming. Mass adoption is on the way. It's going to be here sooner than people realize it. So apparently my kids are banging on the door. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Appreciate you all for stopping out. Again, on the way out, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, your family about the channel. Let's grow this thing big, and it's time to get excited. We have a great 2025 ahead.